Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Read Aloud with Miss Cope. It is Wednesday, April 29th, almost May. I hope you are having a good day so far. We are watching we're reading With the Might of Angels by Andrea Davis Pinkney, and I have permission from Scholastic to read this with all of you. We are coming closer and closer towards the end. I'm curious to know if Dawnie is going to pass the big exam and finally be the bell ringer. Let's see. Thursday, April 28th, 1955, diary book. Gertie was glad for so many exam questions about democracy and the branches of American government. Easy, easy, pillow squeezy was how she described her test. I'm just glad Gertie's got know-how about branches and I've got a brain for frog legs. Now we wait for our grade. Friday, April 29th, 1955, diary book. Sunshine, at last, warm sunshine, happy sunshine, shine on sunshine. That was me yesterday. The sun was shining and it felt so good. I went to Mount Philo and it was just so beautiful to sit up top and bask in the sun. And another nice day today, it looks like. Saturday, April 30th, 1955, diary book. My tree mop is worn from the winter weather, but with so much sun, its ropes are dry and dangling. The mop is as stringy as ever and ready to play. This afternoon, I reared back with my bat swinging righty, then met the mop, bam, and sent it soaring. If that mop could sing, it would have joined me from a chorus of Welcome Spring. Sunday, May 1st, 1955, diary book. I asked Mama if I could please get my pogo stick out from the cellar. Patience, Dawnie, was all she said. That means no. Monday, May 2nd, 1955, diary book. Before now, I never gave the first days of May a second thought, other than to mark the beginning of my birthday month. But this is May with a capital M. I was awake before the dew even knew what to do. With Daddy now working for Mama, he drove me to Ivoryton, let me out at Waverly Street where we usually part ways on foot. Waddle greeted me this morning. The markings on her face were the same, but she looked different somehow, smaller. She was part way under a rose bush, scuttling back to where I couldn't see, out again to greet me, then back to hiding. Mrs. Thompson's rose bush was beginning to shed its winter brown. There were no blooms yet, but come summer, pink buds will bring joy. I followed Waddle to the spot under the bush. I pulled back the low parts of green. Waddle's whiskers twitched. She had 4 baby raccoons suckling her. They were small as newborn kittens and just as hungry. None of them had face masks or tail rings, just fur and tightly shut eyes. I whisper, Waddle, you're a ma. You're a beautiful ma. I left Waddle to her babies, letting a small sing-song fill my thoughts. Waddle's mom, Waddle's mom. When I got to the front of the school building, the new bell was there, but was covered in what looked like blue silk. The Prettyman bell was waiting for its unveiling. The entire school gathered with 7th graders standing in a row closest to Mr. Lloyd. Mr. Lloyd spoke into a megaphone. This bell will serve as a salutation to all who enter Prettyman Coburn School each morning, and the bell will usher students out into the afternoon. The power of its sound will be in the hands of our new bell ringer. Gertie nudged me. Mr. Lloyd continued. Our 7th grade class has the bell ringer privilege beginning this month and extending through 1955 to 1956 school year. I wanted Mr. Lloyd to stop talking. I was eager to see the Prettyman bell, but Mr. Lloyd, he sure was taking pride in his megaphone. As our 7th grade teachers tally test scores, the question remains, who will the bell ringer be? Quietly, with my lips making the words, I prayed a silent prayer. Me, 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 me. That's when Mr. Lloyd unveiled the Prettyman bell. He flung off the blue silk, let it flutter behind him. That bell was as big as Goober. It was a brass dream come true, waiting proudly on iron hinges. My prayer rose up, this time from the deep place, somewhere between my heart and belly, the spot where hard wantings live. Me, me, me. Tuesday, May 3rd, 1955, diary book. How long does it take to grade some tests? It's been a week since we took the 7th grade all competency exam. The Prettyman bell is ready for a ringer. I'm sick and tired of clapping erasers. I can't take another minute of Mama's fly paper and fan. Enough chalk dust. Thursday, May 5th, 1955, diary book. Before the sun even knew it was morning, I was awake in bed. Now that spring's here, light comes sooner into my window. The in-between is the bluest blue with silver pink curling at its edges. Our whole house was asleep when I crept to the cellar to get my pogo stick. I know Mama had told me not to go near the stick until my birthday, but between waiting for the exam results and waiting to see if I'd become the bell ringer and waiting for me to turn 13, I'm sick of waiting. I pushed past cobwebs and puddles left from so many days of rain to the back corner of our cellar's canning closet where my pogo had been stored. When I pulled the chain that turned on the ceiling bulb, the closet was lit yellow dim. There's not much to that closet. What you see is what you see, and I could see that my pogo stick was gone. I looked under the potato bin and behind the canning shelf where Mama had stored pickles all winter. No pogo stick any place. I couldn't help what I did next. Goober! I shouted. Daddy and Mama came running. Daddy was holding a flashlight. Mama held Goober's hand. I was breathing hard like I'd been the one racing to the closet. Where's my pogo stick? I hollered. Mama said, where's your patience, Dawnie? You were supposed to wait until your birthday to come looking for that stick. You disobeyed me. I kicked at the potato bin. I was thinking on what to say. Daddy said to Mama, should we punish her, Loretta? Ooh, you know what I just inferred? I am assuming that the pogo stick is missing and Mama told her to wait till her birthday because maybe Mama and Daddy are planning to buy Dawnie a new pogo stick, especially to treat her for all that she's been through this year at a new school. Mom said, yes, Curtis, let's punish her. Daddy told me to follow him to the subcellar, a crammed, teeny space where our house pipes live. Only the two of us could fit. Daddy pointed the beam from his flashlight. He moved towards the direction of the light's ray, which he'd fixed to shine onto an old shape leaning against the dirt wall. Right then, in our subcellar, Daddy unveiled my punishment. There was no blue silk like the fabric that had covered the Prettyman bell, but a burlap sheet had kept the surprise hidden. A new pogo stick! My inference was correct. A red ace flyer with green tassels at the end of each handle. Mama called. Has she gotten her punishment? Daddy peered through the small opening that led up to where Mama and Goober waited. I've shocked it to her good, he said. This is the best punishment ever. I say so. Saturday, May 7th, 1955, diary book. Warm weather has a way of putting people in a good mood. Yolanda came over today. I showed her how high I could jump on my new pogo stick. Yolanda made up a rhyme right on the spot. That pogo stick knew it's never been seen. Its body is red, its tassels are green. So much pogo joy you won't want a breather. That ace flyer doesn't squeak either. Monday, May 9th, 1955, diary book. I know 4 things for sure about Gertie Feldman. Gertie Feldman is the daughter of a doctor. Gertie Feldman is smart. Gertie Feldman is a big faker. Gertie Feldman will be my true good friend for a long time. Our exams came back today. I scored high, but not high enough to be named bell ringer. I missed 2 out of the 22 questions and lost points for misspelling metamorphosis and nucleus. Gertie got a perfect score on her test. She gained 3 points for spelling everything right. This afternoon there was another assembly, this time to name the bell ringer. Mrs. Taylor made me finish clapping erasers before the gathering. When I arrived at the bell, I was covered in chalk dust like always at that time of day. Mr. Williams, the janitor, had come with me. Miss Cora, Miss Billy, the ladies from the cafeteria were there too. Mr. Lloyd's megaphone could be heard from here to Norfolk. Boy, was it loud. Mr. Lloyd called Gertie forward in front of everybody. Now, Miss Feldman, you may christen the Prettyman bell. Well, it didn't take a dictionary to know what christen means. I've been to enough church services to know that when somebody is christened, they're introduced as new and special in the eyes of God. And if the eyes of God were watching at that moment, they could see that me was not the one christening the Prettyman Belle. But soon me saw the real and true Gertie Feldman. As soon as Gertie curled her fingers around that bell's weighty handle, she slid her eyes towards me. The whole school was waiting to hear the christening of the bell, but Gertie would not oblige them. She pulled down on the bell's handle. The handle didn't budge. Then she went up on her tiptoes to get her hands and the weight of her body above the handle. She tried with a will to plunge down on the handle, but it still didn't move. Now, even a little bit. Gertie gave a grunt. She bit on her bottom lip and tried to pull the handle toward her. Still no christening. That's when I knew Gertie was faking. Someone who's so good at somersaults and talking to grown-ups could most likely ring a bell, even a big one. Finally, Gertie said, "This bell's too heavy for me. I need help." Mr. Lloyd came forward to get the bell started, but Gertie stopped him. Before he could christen the bell, Gertie grabbed on me. She positioned my fingers around the bell's handle, then wrapped her hands on top of mine. The bell and its handle were heavy, but not heavy enough to keep Gertie from ringing it by herself. Together we hunkered down on that handle and christened the Prettyman Bell. We sent its song right to God's ears. But after the first strike of the sound, Gertie stepped away so I could ring all by myself. And did I ever ring? The bell's handle got lighter with each yank, and as the bell started to swing on its iron hinges, its sound grew louder and louder, taking on a steady rhythm and a clang that stirred me from the inside out. I'm sure Mr. Lloyd didn't expect that I'd pull on that bell's handle 20 times over, but I was there to introduce that bell. Mr. Lloyd could not stop me. I clanged that bell for Mama and Daddy. I clanged for Jackie Robinson and Mr. Dunphy. I clanged for Mr. Williams, Miss Cora, and Miss Billy. I pulled on that bell's handle doubtfully, hard for Gertie and Goober, who both see things in ways others don't, and for Yolanda, who could always make me giggle. Most of all, I christened that Prettyman Bell for myself, Dawnie Ray Johnson. When I was gone, Gertie asked Mr. Lloyd for his megaphone. He was so startled by the whole thing that he gave it to her without thinking twice. Gertie really didn't need a megaphone. Her voice is loud enough. She said, "I give my bell ringer job to Dawnie." Not one person protested. How could they? Mr. Williams and the lunchroom ladies were clapping too loudly. That is so sweet and thoughtful that Gertie did that for her friend Dawnie. That's a good friend. Wednesday, May 11th, 1955, diary book. With the school year almost over, I have a bad case of spring fever. The last day of school is this Friday. Today, Mrs. Taylor posted the roster of school jobs for next year. They were listed alphabetically, and for once, my name was in the right place. There were 3 names and jobs on that list. That caught my eye. Morning salutation, Gertie Feldman. Blackboard eraser, Bobby Hatch. Bell ringer, Dawnie Ray Johnson. Wednesday, May 18th, 1955, diary book. Happy birthday to me! I haven't written in a while for the simple reason that this book's pages have run low because of Goober's scribbling, and I wanted to save some space for writing on my birthday. As it turns out, I now have enough pages to write for at least another year. I'm in bed as I fill up on writing. My red pencil is short now, but its point is still as sharp as ever. This morning, the in-between had nothing on me. I was awake while the moon started to wave goodbye. The sky was peeling open to let the sun in. Something hard-edged poked through my pillow softness. I knew right off what it was and reached around to pull it out from its hiding place. It's a new diary book for my 13th birthday from Goober. I will never use that bad H word about my brother again. He has given me a new H word to describe how I feel about him. I am humbled by how good a soul that boy is. My new diary has a green fabric cover and a pocket in the back. I can tell by the lavender smell coming off the book's front and by the sniff the stiff way it's been sewn together that Mama's had a hand in making it. The book has been pressed with an iron, I just know it. The pages are the same as this diary's pages, rough at the edges for the way Goober's cut them to fit between the new book's covers. Goober's written a note on the book's inside. Front. I recognize his handwriting. It says, "To Dawnie, my sister, you can fly." Now I have reached this book's last page. It's just as well. I need to stop writing. Goober's calling me. "Dawnie, come out and play." All right, we're gonna stop there, and it looks like that is the end of our book. Congratulations, we finished. There is the epilogue, so maybe we can meet tomorrow to read the short epilogue, and I can introduce the new book to you all that I want to start reading. But I hope you have a happy Wednesday and get to go outside and enjoy the weather. Thanks for watching. Toodles.